How's my audio? Is my thing close enough?
Can you put it closer to see the difference?
Mm.
Just lean into it. I just want to hear what like.
Hello? Is that better? Is that creepy? Hello.
This is being recorded. Okay, go back now.
Back here.
Yeah, and talk.
Better? Worse?
Yeah, it's
Same?
cool. Cool. It's
All good?
yeah.
Okay, because otherwise we have to disturb a cat, and that's
Mm,
against the law.
no. But you have a voice for was it ASMR, AMSR, whatever that thing is.
Oh, yeah?
Just read curriculum to parents like that. So today we're gonna talk about fractions. All right, we are back to just hang out and keep chatting. You know what we love about our model. I'm just talking about us in my first persons now. What do I love about myself? Is, we just want to be transparent and just share as much content as we can. But Lindsey, you and I have been like watching the rise of AI for a few years. We're doing some stuff in AI. Education AI seems to be everybody's hot cup of tea right now.
Mm-hmm.
The non-coffee drinker in me is happy that I don't drink coffee anymore. What are you thinking, man? I mean, we've got our friend Mallory with Giblet, Ghibli, and
Yeah.
then we've got Adele. I don't know him, but Adil with Magic AI. Um, our friends Alex, who's done Classhook and AI-driven stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you thinking as an educator, but also like as my co-founder, and now as just a homeschooling mom who's also looking at AI stuff?
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously super cool and makes a lot of jobs a lot easier. So we have all these like lesson plan generators and quiz generators and all that stuff that makes teachers' lives a lot easier. I think the big thing that AI is missing right now is that we're using it as a tool to do the same job more easily, right? So we're generating quizzes and we're making that easier for the teacher, which is awesome because teachers are overworked and exhausted. But we're still just generating a quiz to quiz kids in a classroom, right? We're still doing the same job. We're making it a little easier to do. And I think we really missed the boat on the potential of AI for personalizing and making it the quiz is not about the content, the quiz is about the child. Each quiz
Mm,
for each child. And that's where we can really like innovate how we educate
right.
versus just innovating how we do the job that we already do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the spot we're playing in. We have emotional data from our students, how they feel every day. We have academic scores. We're now collecting interest data, what kind of movies you like, what kind of sports you like.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do we personalize that quiz environment so they're not struggling to understand a concept if they're living it right now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's amazing. One of the things that is really challenging is also looking at from a parent perspective. What does AI mean to you for home? Like teachers are using it. Are you using any AI tools personally as a homeschooling mom?
We use AI. I mean, I'm teaching the kids how to use AI because I think that's huge in the future for them to be ready for the workforce and everything. So I would say they use it more than I do. I
Yeah.
can use it for like lesson plan ideas, content generation, all that sort of stuff. But I think the biggest thing is like, how do we teach them how to use it? Where it's not a cheat, it's a tool,
Yeah.
and just like because there's nuances to using it and using it well,
Yeah.
and making the most out of it. So I
Yeah.
think that's a really important thing for us to be teaching our kids how to do.
Yeah. What's nice is now you can integrate uh, copy, which is always something ChatGPT has done.
Mhm.
You can integrate images now and now videos. And one of the things that we're working on as a plan for hopefully Q4 is how can we take our language programs and elective programs and start to give them prompts to create content themselves. Imagine if a kid does a beautiful poem, but then we can say, how do you visualize this as a video? How do you visualize this as a painting? And now
Mhm.
they're creating content from homework. which is what
Yeah,
we
and they're
dreamt
learning
about.
how to prompt and how to use a variety of different tools, not just text-based, but video and audio as well, and
Exactly. So
yeah.
we're really excited. So we're gonna keep an eye on that space. And for us, there's no competition in this space. I think all of us founders, whatever you're working on, we're all working towards the same goal. How do we help this little person be prepared for the big bad world that they're gonna grow up into, right? Awesome. And we've got a great announcement. Some of you have already seen it online, but finally, after Lindsey's months and months of effort, introducing drum roll.
Schoolio live classes!
Yes. Man, live classes, it was such a dream for us, something that so many parents requested. Walk us through, man. Why live classes for us? First of all, why does it make sense? And what are we doing?
Well, I mean, we started off just by asking our customers what was missing from the ecosystem that they wanted, and live classes was the r resounding winner of what people are looking for, and I think it's just like that bringing everything under one roof, right? Where it's like, you got your books, if you wanna be offline, you got your online learning, if you wanna be digital, you got all your scheduling tools, everything, and now you have live classes too, so that brings in the social and the ability to outsource, some of your teaching and all those things that homeschool parents are already using, all under the Schoolio umbrella.
Right. And what makes us different? Because somebody watching this video is going to be like, "Oh, but there's already so many places you can go to."
Yeah, I mean, as a homeschooling parent, I had a love-hate relationship with live classes, being that, like, I love that the kids can be social and make some friends. For my extroverted kiddo, it really fills their cup to do those live classes. For my introverted one, it's like a little pushing out of the comfort zone, and it's good for them, right? So I love that about live classes. I loved being able to offload some stuff where it's like if I have to talk about dinosaurs with my 6-year-old for one more second, I'm going to pull out all my hair. So please go take this dinosaur course as a live class. Or even like math, like my daughter needs more help with multiplication tables, but she is done with me and my flashcards. So we
Yeah,
just need to change it up a little bit. So all of that is all the like amazing benefits of live classes. But then the frustrating part would be going to look for them. And
yeah.
it's like this open marketplace that anybody can teach. There's so many of them. You type dinosaurs in the search and there's 800 results. So now I have to read all of those different biops or like synopsis.
Right. Yeah.
I have to read all the reviews and like, why is this one 3 times the cost of this one? Is it 3 times better? Or like, I had so many times where I just walked away from the search and then I felt
Mm,
bad because my kids didn't even get to do the live classes because
right.
I was overwhelmed by the process of finding and weeding through all these things and actually
Yeah.
getting the live classes. So that's really what I wanted to do differently with Schoolio, where it's like, Schoolio, our quality, our style. All of our teachers are our Schoolio teachers. We have vetted them. They are good teachers. They're energetic. They're here. They're using our content. So that it's educationally accurate and all that sort of stuff. And there's not 800 courses on dinosaurs all brought to you by a different teacher. There's the Schoolio dinosaur course with the Schoolio teacher that we've vetted and approved.
Yeah. No, I
And
love
that
that.
just making that so much simpler and easier for the
Yeah,
parents.
I love that. And part of our family pass guarantee is the base is going to be affordable enough where you can now spend some of that money on other things. We've met so many parents where when they're spending $400 or $500 a month on education, that's just the core foundational stuff. There's no
Mhm.
room to play. And play is how kids learn. We all know that. Curiosity gets turned on the minute they play. And so we think it's a really cool option to add on. I mean, it's still in public beta. We've got how many classes? 12 we're launching with?
Yeah,
Yeah,
12.
12. They're all, priced to fit any family budget. I think most of them are what, 15, $20 per session
Yep.
at best, right? So it's not that expensive. And we think if we sort of get that parent support, we can start to grow this thing. And
Mhm.
and also educators that want to now, have a passion. If you're a teacher and you want to do some stuff on the side, here's a great chance to make some revenue, but also know that, you're working with a company that, really is carefully connecting all the dots around student experience. And so it'll be great. It's live now. You can go to schoolio.com live classes and sign
Oh,
up.
and speaking of play, the Schoolio virtual world, where all our live classes take place, is amazing. So forget the boring like video call where it's just a screen with little faces on it. We have our Schoolio virtual school. It's like an actual school. The kids make a little avatar, whatever they want them to look like. They can dress them up, and then they can run their little avatar around the whole space. So we
That's
have
amazing.
classrooms. They can sit on the carpet with the teacher. They can have a desk. There's a recess yard.
That's
Um,
awesome.
with go-karts. We were go-kart. I had all the teachers and I were in the space last week and we were go-kart racing all around outside, being very professional as we do.
You're
Um,
not allowed to go back there. You're having way too much fun.
it's so much fun. The kids love it in there. The hardest part we have is getting them to leave at the end of the class because nobody ever wants to leave.
Oh,
So
that's
it
awesome.
really like gamifies that part for them too.
Well, we're excited. Now this little startup has got one more service as we
Mhm.
continue to innovate. And if you're a founder watching this, um, once you get that base product market fit, every new innovation should be driven by your customer base. And that's what we're doing. We're listening to them. We're reading the testimonials. We're looking for the good and the bad. And then we're looking at where can we easily solve one more problem. And that's really it. The more problems we solve, the more customer love we get. And then we keep innovating. So go check out our live classes. It's incredible. Tell a friend, tell 5 friends. If you're an educator, you want to join us on the journey, message Lindsey on LinkedIn, and let's get your passion course online with Schoolio. A lot of our customers that call our concierge line, they're ready to go, but they're just holding back, not because of a known fear, but this unknown fear caused by bias because they haven't done it yet. If they've done it and they go, "Oh, I was homeschooling for the last 6 months. Here's why I hate it," different story. But like, I don't even want to start because I'm afraid. Is the best way to not try anything new. And so, let's talk about what are some of those myths, in your opinion, that maybe you had to overcome, Lindsey, that other parents can resonate to, on what's the holdback. If you think this is the right move, if you think your kids can benefit from one-on-one time, why aren't you taking the leap?
Yeah, there's a lot of still stereotypes and misconceptions out there about homeschooling, despite the fact that homeschooling is growing rapidly. And if you're considering homeschooling, you should know that it is growing rapidly. So the people who are homeschooling, those communities are changing. They're getting more diverse and they're really like reflecting the real world a lot more. And it makes a lot more opportunities for homeschoolers too. So, I mean, obviously, the number one prevailing stereotype of homeschoolers is that they don't socialize, or that they end up weird or whatever. And that's a very outdated stereotype because there are so many of us now. There's sorts of homeschooling groups. There's all sorts of social opportunities. There's grads, there's proms, there's like all of those things that people fear their kid will miss out on by being part of public school. They exist in the homeschool world. So that's one of the biggest definite
Mhm.
myths.
Yeah, no, I like that. And when I was considering homeschooling, that was my fears. What do I do all day with them?
Mhm.
And and if I'm taking care of them every day, or my wife is, then what do we do as a family? Like, what's the family dynamic that changes? And what are some of the the immediate family dynamics that change that people don't underestimate?
I think the family bonding and the closeness as a family is a huge one, because when your kids go to public school, they're there most of the day. They're basically crushing a 40-hour week at
With
school.
no pay. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, with no pay and no options. And then if they have homework as well, then that's taking up a really significant part of their day. And then you end up where all their extracurriculars, like if they're doing music lessons or sports or whatever, you have to fit all of that in your evenings and weekends. And that's where you get this like family feeling that everybody, we're all ships passing in the night and it's all rushed and I'm just my kid's chauffeur and ATM, and nothing else. And
Yeah.
I think the beauty of homeschooling is that everything slows down. And along with like what I just said about the socialization is that you can do a lot of your extracurriculars during the day. My kids did gymnastics and skating and horseback riding and karate and all kinds of things. And they were all with other homeschoolers daytime weekdays. So
Hmm.
then all of our evenings opened up to be just family time. All of our weekends opened up to be family
That's
time. We didn't
amazing.
have that like rush and hustle all the time as a family to do all the things. So time, you get all that time back and then you just get that like relationship back too and bonding. And if your kids are spending 40 hours a week with a teacher and 25 other kids their own age, and they're spending 4 or 5 hours at the evening with you, who becomes the bigger influence in their lives?
Hmm.
And I've talked about the cultural environment of school before, where if we've all been to school, we all know that it's not cool to have a close relationship with your parents, right? Adults are seen as the enemy. You're
Yeah.
cool if you break the rules. You're not cool if you're the teacher's pet. And everything encourages them to not have these close bonds with adults who are really the best guidance for them while they're learning and
Yeah.
growing.
No, I
So,
love it. And I think about the time, which is what you can't get back. And
mhm,
I love your idea on who's the influence. And my kids go to public school, as you know, and as most people that follow us know. So we literally are the bookends of this ecosystem, right? But we get, you know, 4, maybe 2, 3 hours a night best. That's if they're in the mood. Is I come home at 4, hang out in their rooms until 7. They need alone time, and then it's like an hour or two of socializing, and then they go to bed. And so that's really it. Like it's 10 hours, 14 hours a week with a child
mhm.
until they're 18. And so I really get that. And listen, we're not advocating that everybody should pull their kids out of school and start homeschooling, because that's a lifestyle choice, it's a financial choice, it's a partner choice. There's so many different things you have to consider,
Absolutely.
including the child's choice. Do they want to, do that? But if you are considering it, now is the time in history to be fearless
Mhm.
of ever.
Yeah, and I mean, another huge fear for parents considering homeschooling is whether they're capable of homeschooling, right? Of teaching the content. And people feel like, I don't remember anything from school. How am I supposed to teach that to my kid? And I mean, the irony of you having been to school and now feel incompetent to teach your child. So the alternative is to send them to that same school. Like, I mean, it's funny when you think about it and
Yeah.
sad that, we went through
Well,
probably
15
most of
years.
us a minimum of 12 years,
uh,
but I'm afraid to try to teach my 8-year-old third grade math. Like that's indicative of the school system that you
yeah,
came from. But I think like the biggest thing for parents is like you can teach your children. And we have this like thing in society with all of our social media and marketing and stuff like that, where we're trying to convince people that they are not enough so that they'll buy things, right? But you are enough. You've been teaching your child your whole life. You've been teaching them their manners, their social skills, how to cut up their food and use the toilet. And you can continue teaching your kid anything you want them to know.
I agree.
Knowledge is no longer something that's gate kept by the school system in the digital age. Knowledge is everywhere.
Yeah,
You can learn anything you want to know about anything you want to know. So don't be afraid of the content. And there's so many tools out there now as the community grows, the
100%.
homeschooling market grows, like we can give you all your curriculum. Don't worry about third grade math. We got you covered. Like so So don't be afraid that you're incapable because
Yeah.
you 100%
And
are.
that's it. That's the emotional hurdle that people have to get past. And it's, I was like that when we first met. I'm like, I don't know what my role in an education company could be. I'm traumatized. I hate the school system. Can I, start this company? Will I be a good CEO when my vision of school is different? Here we are, 4 years later. I've learned, I've made some mistakes, but generally not enough to hurt us. And then we are here crushing it. If I can learn, I think anybody can. And it's not a permanent decision. You try it. And if you don't
Mhm.
like it, you go back to
Sure.
what you did before, right? Which is what we all did in COVID. We had no choice but to homeschool. COVID
Nothing
forced
is
us all.
permanent, and your kids won't be behind either if you try and decide it's not for you. I love the example of like there's kids who are, refugees who have been out of school for years and they come here and they get put in the grade based on their age, not based on what they've done before, and they're fine.
Yeah,
Like they all manage,
yeah,
like kids are
100%.
resilient and they learn really fast and don't romanticize how much is being actually taught in school. You can always change your mind and put them back.
I love that. And if you guys need extra help, we have a amazing team that can help guide you through your starting points. Our product is very, very affordable. We have a community that we run on Facebook that you can be a member of and start to network with other parents. So lots of really positive ecosystem just with us, but the ecosystem is building. So whether your home is with a Schoolio or any one of the amazing other partners out there that do this stuff, um, the courage to jump forward is what we're trying to push you to understand and believe. So thank you
Mhm.
again for everybody watching and listening for another episode. And we'll be back to share more as Lindsey and I continue to build this company.